Hi, everybody. What's going on? I just have to say, first of all, that's pretty amazing that the lovely girl over here stood up and said, "How do I write a book?" Because, as you just heard in that bio, that's one of my big dreams. So just wanted to say right off the top, ask for help, and you'll get the answer, and you'll be helping other people, because that really helped me. Natalie's the girl, babybook.com. So that's how it's starting off today. Didn't plan that. So here I am, and my little sister, Gabrielle, and my talk today is gonna be about starting something big. And it's also gonna be about me being real with you. And I want to start with a confession. I am not very good at girl talk. Because to me, girl talk means being open and being vulnerable and sharing different parts of you that you might not be comfortable talking about. And I've essentially tried to build a career and build a life where I look like I have it together at all times. So you even wore like a pretty yellow dress, high heels to try and look like I got it all together. It's a lie. Even if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see, only pictures of me where I look good. I'm not gonna put any pictures of me like in my sweatpants. So this is tip number one, actually, everybody. Never trust Facebook. Never trust Instagram. Never trust Twitter. Usually when people are posting these pictures of themselves where they're looking super happy or motivational quotes, sometimes they're posting it for themselves because they need to lift themselves up. So if you're looking at other people's Facebook pages and Instagram and Twitter and you're like, oh my God, I could never be like them, just know it's not the full picture, it's just a slice of their life. So I took a few of the great pictures of me off Facebook to start off. So what I do is I create and I host a TV show in Toronto called Start Something Big. And this whole idea came to me because I had no freaking clue how to start. Anybody here relate? You have something you want to do, and you're just like, I don't know how to start it. Anybody? Anybody? Yes. Honestly, there's nothing worse in life than knowing you have this potential inside you, but you just don't know what to do with it. You don't know where to begin. You don't know what direction you should go in. You don't know if you should write a book or if you should be a musician or if you should be a professional athlete. You don't know what to do. And I want to just share with you a few experiences I've had over this little talk to hopefully guide you and help you figure out what you really want to do in the world and also feel like it's possible for you. Because I remember when I would watch people and watch speakers when I was in public school and high school, even in university, and I think that they had something that I didn't have. Like they just had, life was better for them because they have a microphone and they are talking to me. But I really want to get across that we are all connected, we're all one. Anything that inspires you about me is the same thing that I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, we're all, we can all inspire each other. So if you're inspired by me, I'd love to hear your story as well, because I know that I've probably been through the same thing that you've been through. So here's a little bit about what I want to talk about today. Scary things to me, actually, and I'm calling it my Keeping It Real agenda. Hopefully I do keep it real the whole time. So I want to talk about things that really affected me when I was younger. I'm 24 now, and I still don't have it all figured out at all. Still trying to figure it out. But I had the chance, to speak on the stage today, and I was reflecting on my teen years, on being younger, and just thinking what would I need to know? If I had the chance as my 24-year-old self to tell myself when I was 11 or 15 a few pieces of advice, what would I tell this person? So I'm gonna talk about friends, boys. If anyone has any tips, help. Body image, school, the future, and then starting today. And as you heard, Katie was talking about that, a little bit about that as well. So you see there's kind of a lot of similarities between what we're talking about today. So hopefully you guys leave with some great advice. All right, so let's talk about friends. Friends! Thing about friends, I kind of feel like we all want friends, we all need friends, but friends can also be a source of our greatest pain. And as you will see up here, oh hey, it's Katie! Katie's the Peary, everybody. Yes, can we just give Katie a round of applause? I mean, love Katie. And we actually met in a very random way. You never know where you're gonna meet some of your best friends. We were at an event, we went to school at Ryerson for radio and television, and they were, yeah, great school, yes. And, we kind of just met randomly, and, we didn't know that it would turn into like such a great friendship where we truly have each other's back. But what we did was we actually created a TV show together called The Real Deal and Meal about food and culture. So you never know who you're gonna meet and how it's gonna shape out. So, friends, so as you can see, I took some of my pictures off Facebook. Of course, only smiling, looking happy. But I want to share with you a lesson I've learned and also something I wish I knew about friends. From my 24-year-old self telling my younger self. So one thing that's so powerful to me, it's this quote that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Quote by Jim Rohn. So think about it, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If this resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But I think if you look at the friends that you spend the most time with, or family members, there's probably a lot of similarities there. You might wear kind of similar clothes, you might go to the same kind of events or parties, you might be in the same clubs at school. So what I mean by this is just really think about who you want to spend time with in class or in school, because you're going to become like them. And I've had a lot of great experiences. I was kind of a nerd in school. Shout out to all my nerds. Everyone, fantastic. That's a good thing, by the way, actually. To be called a nerd means that you're actually interested in something. And I feel like nowadays, so many of us are just kind of floating around. So if you're a nerd, you have an advantage. Yes. So I just want to tell you kind of a story that is kind of out there, but about following the crowd. And essentially all throughout school, all I wanted to do was be liked. I just wanted people to like me. I'd do whatever it took for people to like me. I just wanted to be wanted. And this was all right, in public school. I kind of made my way through the best I could. But then when I got into grade 10, I really wanted to be liked. And I started doing some stuff that I'm not really proud of. And I'm gonna tell you, because it's keeping it real agenda. So, so one thing that I did that didn't feel right to me when I was doing it, but I did it anyway because that's what my friends were doing, was drugs. I mean, grade 10, I was that girl who was kind of the teacher's pet, and was very obsessed with getting good marks at school and, trying to start a good life for myself. But I also wanted to fit in. There was this part of me that was like, I want to do super well, and this other part that was like, wait, am I even doing the right thing? Am I even happy? Why don't I do what the other kids are doing? So I started to do drugs, and I started to drink and hang out on the weekends with friends that were not really supporting me. They're kind of like bringing me down, and I can't blame anyone. It was my choice. But still, I was hanging out with a certain crowd, and it brought me into their world. And I know this is gonna come up for many of you. Like, there's so much pressure on young people nowadays, especially to fit in. And so these these situations might come up for you. And if that little voice inside you is saying, what are you doing? Why are you going there? Don't do that. Listen to it. You will get out of school. And that's what I wanted to say that I wish I knew, was that you're never stuck. You're not gonna be stuck forever. I thought when I was in high school, my school had 600 people in it, and it was very small, everyone knew everyone. I thought that were my friends for life. That was how it was gonna go. But now, at the age of 24, there's more people out there. there's people of all ages. Most of my friends are in their 30s or 40s. I have friends in their 70s. I have teen friends. I have kid friends. Well, I think they're my friends. I hope they like me. And so just know that, one day you're going to have the chance to really choose your friends from the world, not just, the people that you're stuck with in class. And I know sometimes it might be weird too if you're like 11 years old and you have a friend that's 20 years older than you. So just know that as soon as you get a little bit older, the world is your oyster. On to the next slide. Boys! If you're wondering, did I go through my Facebook page and look for pictures of me and boys? The answer is yes. And also, this is the bragging moment. The guy in the bottom left corner, where I'm trying to do my best I'm hot face, he went on to do some great things and became the Cosmo Bachelor of the Year. We don't really talk anymore, but we're Facebook friends, so he can still call me if he wants. But boys, oh my God, whether you're into boys or you're not, they're there. So, I had my first kiss in grade 6. I don't know what that rustle is. That bad? Is that early? I don't know. But I gotta tell you, it was devastating to me. Here's why. I had been reading a lot of teen magazines that basically painted the picture that you're supposed to have your first kiss like in a canoe with a sunset. like the movie The Little Mermaid, where there's like fish spouting water and stuff. That's how I envisioned the first kiss. That's not how it went down, as you know. So I had my first kiss in a basement in front of people. Okay, so here's how it shook down. Basically, the popular girl was there. The popular boy was there. I was there. And there was another girl who was there. And you're bored, you're in grade 6, you're like, there's a boy here. What are we gonna do? And of course, the popular girl suggested to play spin the bottle, or do people still do that? I don't know. I don't think, Yes? We need to come up with some more creative, non-awkward games. Ladies, if you take anything from today. So of course, we spun the bottle, it looked at me, it looked at him, and I went, oh, no. I was so freaked out. I was like, I don't know how to kiss a boy. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this in front of people. Instant anxiety attack. And so, here, his name was Jarrett. So he's standing there all like, hello. And I'm like, inside I'm crying. I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is not how it's supposed to be. So he's standing there, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, I don't know how to kiss a boy. I don't know how to do this. So I just kind of went on autopilot. I was like, just let him lead. So I walked up to him, and then he leaned into my face, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta close my eyes. So I closed my eyes. And then he kissed me, and I was like, yeah, that's all right. I've done it before. I literally, we kissed, nothing crazy, just, innocent kiss. Then I went and sat back down on the couch and wanted to melt into that couch and never stand up again. Because in that moment, I felt like I just betrayed myself. I felt like this was your chance. You have one chance for a first kiss, and you just blew it. So for weeks, I was absolutely so sad, so destroyed. I was like, what does life even matter anymore now that I messed that up? Really, this was a big deal. And luckily I had a journal, which Natalie mentioned, which is so helpful. It's like the one place in life where you can feel completely safe. You can write down however you're feeling. Mine was locked because I have 3 younger sisters, and sisters are curious. But it's your one chance to really just express yourself. So ladies who have the opportunity to kiss a boy, it gets better. Thank you. Well, personally, I think I got better at kissing boys, but I'm still single, so we'll see. I don't know. And actually, I'm so lucky to have a friend like Katie who's telling me, like, Gwen, just be patient, it'll happen, because when you're growing up, I thought being 20 was very old when I was young. Well, I'm still pretty young, but when I was in high school or in public school, I was like, when I'm 20, that's when I'll have it all figured out. I'll, probably settle down. So, yeah, just my one thing that I wanted to tell myself was just, it'll get better. It'll get better. All right, enough with the boys. You want more boys? Okay. Body image. I thought it would be a little bit weird if I went through my Facebook and just put up pictures of myself. Egotistical, maybe? So I left it black. Because this I wanted to be real with you about what I'm dealing with today. Even this morning, because I'm on autopilot. Like, I got up in the morning, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, not good enough. Like, that was my first thought, It's like, I didn't wake up in a yellow dress. I woke up in an oversized t-shirt and pink shorts from Zellers. Wait, not Zellers, it doesn't exist anymore. Seriously. I just was like, oh my God, like, I have to look nice today. Like, this is not, this is not real. I don't wear high heels normally. But I wanted to tell you a couple things I didn't think would exist by the time I was 24. I thought it would go away. And hopefully that, if you're dealing with this now, start working on it now so that when you become a bit older, you won't feel the way that I feel now. And I even have friends that are in their 60s and 70s, and they're still dealing with this. And it really kind of crushes me because not feeling good enough sucks. Can I get an amen? Amen. We're in a church. Thanks for humoring me. So one thing that I'm still dealing with that I'm kind of embarrassed about, but you probably won't even notice, but I'm 24 and I still have acne. Silence. Like, of course I'm wearing pounds of makeup, and you're far away from me so you can't see. But really, it's something that I'm still dealing with. And I thought that when you were no longer a teenager, that would just instantly go away. I'm like 24. Like, shouldn't that go away? And also, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, man, you could definitely stand to lose some weight. What? Like, I'm not even out of shape, but just sometimes with Facebook and Instagram, as I was mentioning, I look at pictures of people and I'm like, wow, how do they do it? Where do you get those six-pack abs? Or just they have the most beautiful clothes, or they have, the best makeup. I watch a lot of Michelle Phan. I don't know if anyone sees her YouTube videos. Yes. She's so beautiful. And something Katie was mentioning that kind of really resonates with me is about the iceberg. How you only see 10%, when we see each other, we only see what we're dealing with on the outside, but you never truly know what's going on with a person. And actually, when Michelle, she did this thing on YouTube called Draw Your Life, where she talked about, anyone see that? It's highly suggested. You think someone like Michelle has this very simple, perfect life where she does makeup, but no, she came from a broken home. Not broken home, but just her parents divorced, and she had a stepfather, and then her stepfather, something happened there that she doesn't want to talk about yet, and then left. So you never really know what's going on with somebody. So ultimately, what I wanted to say about body image was that, especially for women, we put so much emphasis on what we look like on the outside. It's painful. It's really painful. And even the most beautiful women that you see that you think are beautiful are dealing with the same things. So what I would want to tell myself is to just slowly appreciate what you have. Because there are so many people out there that I've met who, they can't walk, or they can't speak, or not that that's a bad thing, it's just a different challenge that they have to overcome. And I've learned that whatever challenge you're dealing with, whether it's acne or you feel like you're gained a couple of pounds or anything like that, is that's actually going to become your greatest teacher. And what I mean by that is because I have acne, God, I keep saying this, it's like, I gotta stop saying it. It's really kind of inspired me to figure out what's going on. And I'm starting to eat much more healthier. I no longer have dairy products. This is a tip, anybody who's dealing with it. A lot of dairy products really can affect your skin. So, skin is like, that's what you see first. So yeah, just whatever you're dealing with is gonna really be your greatest teacher in the end. Next slide, slide man or woman. School. School, okay, I didn't put any pictures up here because I figured y'all knew what school looked like. You don't need any more buses or classrooms or anything like that. Anybody here a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to school? I see you, the double thumbs. I was too. I felt that because boys didn't really like me, I was like, that's just over. School's gonna be my main focus. So I poured everything I had into school. I was obsessed. And of course, caused a lot of problems for me in the sense that a lot of people made fun of me because I got A's. And they'd be like, oh my God, Gwen got another A? Like, really? No surprise. You know, those little comments sometimes hurt the most. So if you're doing them, reel them in, ladies and gents. But one thing I wanted to say about school, a lesson that I've learned is that if you're struggling in school right now, or even if you're doing well in school, by the time you get to my age, school and your marks don't really matter anymore. I didn't realize this at the time. I was like, school is everything always, because it's all I ever knew. So whether you're doing well or you're not in school, work on developing your work ethic. I know a lot of people in the audience here said they wanted to be entrepreneurs, or you want to have a successful career one day. Your work ethic is what's going to help you get to that next level. And then the one thing that I wish I knew is just to have more fun. Like, you're going to be out of school one day. You're going to actually wish there was the structure of school again. So just try and take those moments to join the club or to talk to the person you've never talked to and just have a little bit more fun and don't make it all about the A. Next slide, please. Okay, and your future. Who here is feeling a little anxiety about the future? Me too. The future, my friends, is terrifying, but also fantastic. Don't worry, it's not all negative here. The problem with the future is we don't know what's going to happen. And what I mean by that is that we are sitting here trying to figure it all out, trying to figure out what we're gonna do in our futures. And young girls nowadays have so much pressure on them. Like, it is unbelievable. Like, I feel pressure at the age of 24. I cannot imagine what kind of pressure you feel from your parents, from your friends, from people to just figure it all out, and at a younger age. So if you're feeling pressure, know that you're not alone. But one thing that I've learned about dealing with the future is that you can't. And as Katie mentioned, all you have right now is the present. What you have to do is just make the most of what you have right now to prepare yourself best for the next moment. And this is a real challenge for a lot of people. You might notice that your parents or older siblings are always like rushing around, and you're probably like, I don't want any of that. I want to just, have a very safe kind of go with the flow kind of life. You don't want to be stressed to the max. And the way to deal with stress is by being present in the moment. And this is a work in progress, even for myself. And all right, so I'll move on to the last. Oh yeah, and that's me, obviously, in the bottom. Me as a 5-year-old going, future, what will happen? Bright future ahead. All right, and then my final slide, start. That was kind of fun. Whee! I've never worn a dress like this. I feel kind of fancy. Starting. This has become my obsession. Because I feel like our generation, we're stuck in this state of analysis paralysis, meaning that we're thinking about all the action we should take or the person we should talk to, but not actually doing anything about it. And this is partially to blame because we have so many opportunities. We're a generation where you could literally do anything you want with your life. Like anything. Cue anxiety attack. Because if you think of your parents or your grandparents' generation, there were only, a few careers that were acceptable to choose. Nowadays, careers are popping up. People are creating careers just as an extension of who they are. And I think that's the way that the future is going. So discover who you are first. And, come to events like this. Read books like Natalie's book. Check out camps like Katie's Make Your Mark camp. Just find ways to just to learn from people who have figured it out. So what I say about starting, what I've learned is to start small. You may hear a lot that you are the generation that will change the world. And if you're anything like me, that freaks you out. Changing the world, the whole world? How? What? There's 7 billion people. Is that just me who feels like that? I don't know. Probably not though, because I know that we're all connected. But what I mean by that is, I was actually talking to my roommate about this last night. We're talking about the idea that that we're the generation that's going to change the world. And the truth of the matter is, the only way to change the world is to start with yourself. And in practical terms, that means starting to treat yourself better, starting to eat foods that will fuel you instead of hinder you. Start to do things that make you feel good. And that actually leads into the lesson that I've learned is just to figure out what you want to do. Do what feels good to you. Follow your bliss. Because when you do this, it gives you energy and a new sense of passion. That word too, passion. I remember being in grade 8, I was like, I'm not really passionate about anything. I used to play basketball and I was like, maybe I'll be a professional athlete. No, didn't pan out. So do things that make you feel good and then more opportunities will come to you. All right, so ladies, in closing, my final thoughts. Number 1, cut yourself some slack. Just breathe out. It's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? It's gonna be okay. I think I was just telling that to myself. But really, everyone here was brought here for a reason. I know you're all very ambitious people. You look out there and there's so many people who just look like they have it figured out. And you might be thinking, I don't. And if that's how you feel, give yourself the gift of just cutting yourself some slack. Number 2, I said, you will figure it out. This is kind of a lie. I was speaking at a high school recently, and I was talking to the art teacher, and he was about to retire. And he was saying, Gwen, I'm finally getting to retire so I can figure it all out. I was like, excuse me? You're retiring. Doesn't that mean that you have figured it out? No. So I realized that we're always searching. We're always trying to figure it out. But just my final thought being just to trust yourself. We're all here today for different reasons. We're all going to take something different away from today. But the one final thought I just leave you with is just to trust yourself. No one knows you like you do. Nobody knows, no one's lived the life that you've lived. No one's seen the amazing things or the really challenging, hard things. So you just have to know and just, in those times where things are super crazy, just give yourself the gift of just sitting with yourself and just reflecting and trusting. And finally, just to wrap up, I just want to say thank you for listening with my heart emoticon. I would love to hear from you, and it truly is, I've now discovered it's a passion of mine to help people to start what it is that they're meant to do in the world. Not necessarily a career, but just starting on your path. And I remember, and that's because we teach what we most have to learn, and I still am on the path and trying to figure it all out. So ladies, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your time, for listening, and thank you. And of course, thank you to the beautiful, amazing, makes me want to cry, I love her so much, Katie Zapiri, for organizing this beautiful event. Woo! Alrighty, I'm out of here, but rocking the yellow dress, I'm sure you'll see me. I'll be around all day, so come say hi.